One of those days. Okay, we are officially recording. So welcome to this leadership. Isabella, there we go. P8 is Isabella. Thank you. Hawaii P8 Light. Welcome, Isabella. Awesome to have you here as well. Okay, guys, we are busy now with the, what am I doing, guys? The leadership training. It is Wednesday evening, and we're going to work out what Wednesday it is. Wednesday the 12th. Hey, 2 more days to Valentine's Day, hey, guys. All right, so that's a hint and a reminder for you all. So for those of you, it's great to have you on this call, and we're going to be looking at the foundations of duplication and how important it is for us to have duplication in our businesses. Well, are there any questions that you would like answered before we whiz on to this? Is there anybody would like to ask a question? You're welcome to unmute yourself and ask me a question. Otherwise, we will just kick it off and just see where we're going to go from here. If you're all happy, or you can just type in a question at the bottom, in your, what do you call it, a chat box. There we go, chat box. Fernando, welcome. Awesome, guys. Really great to have you all here. Okay, super. So one of the things that I've spoken about in the, where did I speak about it? I know Ryan mentioned this a little bit on Sunday, and it was my elite group that I spoke to. And that is that right now we're expanding too fast. And it's not a good thing. We think it's great. We think it's fantastic that we have got this business and we're ranking up. But when you have a new business, and in your new business, the business itself is not established. And then what happens is you have this exponential growth. This is not healthy, okay? And we need to understand that it is not a healthy position for any business to be in. So it is important for us to realize that in order for us to get this balanced, we need to be focusing on the right activities. So what has been happening, and I'm sorry I don't have my flip chart behind me, but what is actually happening is that if you look at an axis, a y and an x and a y axis, and what's happening is that you should be growing your business steadily, and our businesses all should be doing this, going up. At the same time, your leadership should be going up, and the gap between the growth of your business, the gap of your growth of your business and the gap of your leadership growth should not be more than 10%. Guys, what's happened is because we've gone exponentially growth, that gap is about 90%, which means a couple of things we're going to hit. We've already starting to get leadership issues that are starting to come through. We already have people that are stealing prospects from each other, and so therefore the integrity of the business starts going down. And the reason why I mentioned that specifically is because one of my downline had been working with a prospect for 2 weeks, and then she prospected and spoke to somebody who was already in Element, and they said, no, don't worry, don't join that person, come join me, I'll pay for you, and I'll put the 3 people below you, and you can get the qualification for this promotion. Guys, that is an integrity issue, and because we're exponentially growing like this and people are getting greedy, that gap is greed, and we're no longer a gap of the 10%, we're the gap of the 90%. So we need to really get into our teams and start seriously saying, you know, at the end of the day, it is not healthy for a new business to grow exponentially like this. And this is why Ryan has also gone, and he's realized that he has to now go and get Grant Cardone, excellent network marketer, to actually start helping us all get our leadership intact, because there's people stealing people from teams left, right, and center, and it's wrong. We need to stop it. And it's up to us leaders in order to make that happen. So for example, I find somebody who on Facebook, and they say to me, oh, I'd love to join your team, Michelle. I've seen your Facebook lives, and I've seen this and I've seen that. And I say to her, well, great. Are you in Element? Yes, I am. You know, it's very easy for me to say, hey, you know what, go inactive that side and come to my side, and I'll work with you. Guys, I can take all of your people. But ethically, That is the wrong thing. I've got to say to them, no, you're in the right place. And this is why we're doing the mastermind and trying to teach us all the difference between a poser, an amateur, and a professional. And we need to get ourselves to professional network marketers. And we, unfortunately, we need to realize that we need to exponentially narrow that gap in our teams and start getting our leaders up and running and understanding what they're doing. So here I'm going to look at some of the foundations of duplication. And ultimately, I'm going to be working on each of these areas and trying to put some videos together and some tutorials together, because we need to master this as a sense of urgency. Okay. So let's have a look at the first lock. And we all know that the first thing that we've got to be looking at is our prospecting tools. Okay, so you've got a new recruit that's just coming through the whole process. So we go through this process of, we tell them, we show them, we try, and then we do. Okay, so the try is that they got to try. So how are we going through this cycle in prospecting? So when you're telling, we need to say to ourselves, okay, and we've got to ask ourselves, because if we're doing this right, we should not have any cross-recruiting. We should not have cross-lining and all of these kind of things that are happening currently in our business. And I'm not talking through hearsay. I'm talking about this happened to my prospect within this last week. Okay, so this is why I realized we need to nip stuff like this in the bud. It's not right to say I'll pay for people to come into the business because we want to help them. Okay, they must go and find the money. Holiness and them are building massive businesses. They're not paying for each other. It is us that are doing this and damaging the business, because the moment I start doing this, I start making my company a Ponzi scheme as opposed to a legitimate business. Because there's people ranking up so fast, like to manager, senior manager levels, that don't even know how to network market. They've been in network marketing for 1 month, which is telling me that they're claiming consultancy fees that shouldn't be there. They have no right to claim those consultancy fees because they haven't grown into leadership in that area. And I'm very passionate about this, okay? I've had heated conversations about this with my husband, and I said, we all need to slow down to go fast. If we want solid businesses, we need to stop focusing on the ranking up, and we need to focus on the looking after of our business. So it's exactly the same as we have a tree that bears fruit this winter, and we like, oh, let's take all the fruit of the tree, but we don't go nurture the roots. Okay, next year it's going to produce nothing. And I'm being very serious with us leaders with regards to this. So with regards to prospecting tools, we've got to say to ourselves, okay, how do you tell your new recruits to find prospects? Right now, it's not about seeding people. We need to teach them. If you find someone, your first thing to say is, I am already in Element. Thank you very much. Go back to the person that is working with you. We should not be saying, oh, but we've been friends for 20 years. I didn't even have you on my list, but hey, it doesn't matter. Let me steal you. Guys, it doesn't work that way. So we need to have, do we have a written SMSs? We don't use emails anymore, but it's the SMSs, the WhatsApp groups, the others, the messenger. What is our message that we're getting out there, and how are we getting it out there? And what is our phone calls? Do we know what we're teaching the guys that we're with? So we can target Facebook, family, friends, and I love that, never eat alone. All right, so it's never eat alone. Always you've got somebody coming to, you're training somebody at the same time. So for example, if I'm going to go and sit with a prospect and take them through the whole process, and I'm training someone, I bring them along with me and teach them, because I'm going to place them in their downline. So guys, all the time it's too busy saying, how do I do right by other people? And stealing other people's prospects is not doing right by other people. It's damaging the reputation of our business. And what's more important is all of us are actually attached. And what was even worse, it was actually a my wealth person that stole my prospect, knowing full well that I'm working with the person. So that's even worse. All right. So now in-house, we're starting to have issues, and we need to start nipping this kind of thing in the bud. So ethically, you need to teach your leaders and say to your leaders, hey guys, this is not how it works. We cannot take each other's prospects. It is for the greater good that even if it is my neighbor here right next door to me who comes here, says to me, hey, you know what, somebody approached me, and I'd love to speak to you about this business with regards to receipts and that kind of thing. I'd love to chat to you. And I'd say, oh, I'm already in. I'm not going to say, hey, but you know what, because we're right next door, I can help you more than the guy that's in Cape Town. Okay, we've got to stop that. So show is, how do you show your new recruits to approach prospects? You have to have an action plan. We need to understand that there's a system. We can't just let everybody run loose. All right. And because we've grown so fast, so quickly, we haven't been able to instill this process that we go through. So yes, my team has got, here's how you pick up, this is what you say to a group, somebody who you're prospecting. This is how you work with them. If they don't have money, this is what you say to them. If they do have money, this is what we do. And how do you take them through the 4 or 5 different exposures? When they're ready and they've signed up, great, fantastic. Now this is the video that when they're ready to watch a video, this is the first video that you watch them. You pick up the phone and you say, what do you like best about what you saw? Then they tell you and say, right, I'm not going to push this down your throat. I'd like you to have some more information so that when you say no to me, you say no from an informed perspective. Here's the second video. Pick up the phone. Hey, what did you like best about what you saw? Fantastic. Are you ready? On a scale of 1 to 10, are you ready to start? 1 is you're not ready to start. 10, you're ready to start. Where are you? I'm on a 5. Fantastic. What more information would you like from me to actually take this? Oh, I think it's a Ponzi scheme. Fantastic. Great. Guys, can you see I'm rattling this stuff off because it's what I teach my people. Okay, and there's a step. This is what you do here. This is what you do here. This is what you do here. And we need to start our new people. I mean, the guy who stole mine is just running out there because he wants to get to consultant before the end of the week. Okay, it's not on. That's not recruitment. That is not recruitment, and it's giving you and myself and my wealth a bad name. All right, and that's just one person that I'm aware of. So try. Okay, so now what you do is you observe your new recruit doing their first prospecting trip. Okay, so in other words, you take them through the process. So it's tell, show, try. Okay, if they don't try, you're right there with them. Okay, to take them through that process. Let me see, there's a question. I don't want to go past in case. So yeah, can we ban the person stealing another person? I would love to, but he has leaders protecting him. But Pete, I would love to. Don't you worry. So yeah, unfortunately, all we can do is go and educate. All right, but yeah, I agree with you 100%. It's wrong. Okay. But it's happening, and it's going to continue to happen until we get everything in line. So it is a reality, and it's something we need to do. All right. So when you don't just leave your people on their own, make sure that they're saying the right thing. So for example, you get this new recruit, he's fired up, he thinks it's cash rewards coming out of December, and he goes running around, he says everybody can get cash in your bank account. Guys, that's not what we're about. So now we come a month in, they want their cash in their bank account, and now they're bitching and moaning because they don't get their cash in the bank account. Why? Because that's what the new recruit went and said. Okay, so we've got to be very structured in the don't worry, Charles trying to hijack all of my videos for my team. Don't you worry. He's working me hard for them. anyway okay, then do you have new recruits, do you have your new recruit keep statistics on their recruiting efforts? Guys, this is why again, why I've specifically structured the coaching programs the way it's been structured. Everybody, because I could not believe that most of the people have only been in network marketing for 2 months. Okay, and that is because of Element. And most people haven't even been in network marketing because they haven't seen a network marketing company that's suitable for them. So which Element is, which is fantastic. So we need to get some training, coaching up front, really quickly up front. But it is important for you to ask your guys to keep their statistics. And so the professional group are the guys that are working through there. They actually, guys, I keep my statistics. I've shown you over and over and over again. Here's my statistics that I jot down. I have my chart that's here in front of me. It says week ending the 16th of February. What are my intentions for this week? My intentions for this week is just to build my team. Yes, I'm going to do my personal activity as well, but I need to get some things fixed up in my team. And so I have my number of calls or people that I contact. I've got my number of presentations or people that have been exposed to the presentation, which could be the 3-way call. It could be the 2-minute intro video. It could be the long Wednesday night video, which I'm going to do just now. It could, and then it's the number of people have I personally picked up the phone and followed up with, the number of new customers that I've registered this week, and then of course, have I done my 30 minutes personal development? That's my checklist. I print it out once a week and I keep it. And here you can see is the last couple of weeks that I've been doing since the beginning of this year, and keeping it together. So I've got my statistics. I know what I'm doing. I use my Trello to track the people. But guys, you've got to know your numbers. All right. It's people say network marketing doesn't work, but it's not the truth. They don't work network marketing. Okay, so what percentage of prospects eventually do sign up is very important, because then you'll know what they're saying, what they're doing. And the guys that are on the professional are being taught how to do this, and they're running with this kind of information right now. And it's quite daunting when you actually look at your statistics and you think, oh gosh, the whole day's gone by and I've been so busy with my network marketing business, but I haven't phoned one person because there's not one line drawn there. But my head has been so busy with the network marketing business. I've had one of those days today, so everything's blank for me except my personal development. Okay. Do you have statistical data ready for new team members? So you've got to be able to say, hey, you know what, I found that right now it's a 10-1 ratio for everybody who's new. So in other words, for every 1 person you register, you need to expose your business to 10, which means if you want 3 people, we need to at least have a list of 50 names to get your first 3 signed in without signing and paying for them. Okay. So you need to know what your statistics are. So that's just prospecting. Right, Fernando, what if you find an interested person that was a member but had no support and now wants to rejoin under a different leader? She's been out for a few months. You know what? I think then it's fair game. I would actually ask the question. So if it was you, for example, that left Element, your 60 days is over, you've dropped off completely, you've realized now that this is what it is. And I've had 1 or 2 people that this has happened to, but you've got to do the right thing. And that is, I would say, so Fernando, are you all right? So what are your reasons for wanting to rejoin? What were your reasons for not continuing when you were in? Okay. Before you join with me, what I'd love you to do is, please, can you phone Andre and say to Andre, thank you very much for showing me the opportunity 6 months ago. I wasn't ready, and I am now going to participate, but I'm not going to be joining your team. I just thought it was an ethical thing for me to phone. I'm going to be joining with Doc Mush. Okay, you've got to make that call. So I've just signed a lady up now that exactly the same thing. She really honestly wasn't. She started when Element first came. It wasn't for her. Her child was sick. Everything was wrong. She's come back to me, and I said to her, no, what you've got to do is, who was the person who registered you? Who brought you into the business? Are they active? That person's also gone inactive. That person's also not interested. Who was their upline? And we found 3 uplines up, and everybody's just like, no, not interested. So now I'm not going to go and say, well, now you have to go and join with so-and-so, because that's just not going to help. But you have to make those phone calls. Those phone calls need to be made. The call needs to be make sure that everybody, you've given them the opportunity, and then say, please make a phone call, find out, is Andre still in the business, and just say to him, hey Andre, I've made a decision, this is what I'm going to do. Please don't send a WhatsApp. This lady was too scared to make the phone call. She sent a WhatsApp and said, guess what, it's a miracle, someone's going to pay for me. Like, guys, come on. Put your big boy panties on, put your big girl panties on, make the phone call and say, hey, this is my decision. And then go with it from there. But they must make the call. Otherwise, it's seen as blatant stealing. And then also make sure that they, I've seen it again as well. Don't worry, just go inactive on the other side and come sign with me. The 60 days is not even over. They haven't even, and they submitted slips last month. That's just wrong. Okay, but if they haven't submitted slips, they're off the program, they've dropped off 60 days, the natural inclination's off, done and dusted, they did absolutely nothing, and now they've seen the value because their circumstances have changed. and you're the person in front of them, then that's fine. But you know, I saw it so much, and I have a big problem with the whole group of people that moved across from Lifestyle Galaxy to Carrot Bars. And you know, in order to keep the line of sponsorship right, they were telling people, go inactive on the other side and come sign underneath us. And you know, it's just wrong. So yeah, that's what I would do. I hope that answers you, but let's keep it clean, crystal clean, so that there's no underhandedness, and they know exactly. So Andre knows if he's talking to Charles, he can say to Charles, you know what, Fernando's just joined under Doc Michelle, and he was in my business last month, 3 months ago, or 6 months. And then Charles can say, oh, okay, let me pick up the phone to Doc Michelle. Let's keep the lines of channels open, so that when you both walk into the hall, you'll be friendly with each other, that everything, and just keep everything nice and clean. That's the most important thing, that integrity is up out front there. So, you know, it's like, oh, sure, but there's so-and-so, and I've just like ducked from his team. That's not on. Be able to stand there, and if Andre had to approach me, him and I need to have a decent conversation with each other, and it is what it is. Okay, so let's make sure that we do that. So I hope that answers that one. So can you see how important it is that at each stage you need to have it very clear how you're taking your people through these steps? All right, it's what we're doing at the moment is we're combining them all. Okay, they're meshing together, but let's be very deliberate on, I'm telling you, this is how you go and find your prospects. Then when you bring the prospect, this is how we show them, 3-way calls, etc. Then this is what you're going to do to actually get your prospect started. And then this is what you're going to do to what your recruiting tools are, and whatever your system is in your team. So keep them very, very, and you know, what did I say? Confusion leads to inactivity. Okay, so always remember, if people are not active, it's because they are confused about what they're doing. Okay. Any questions with regards to prospecting? Are you happy with that? Cool. Then we'll move on to the next one, which is very similar, and that is inviting. Okay, so prospecting and getting a person to actually see some of your opportunities in that is different to the actual invitation. So again, in the olden days, we used to have the email scripts that we used to use for a person who's been in the business for the day one, but now we're just all on WhatsApps. So you can have a WhatsApp campaign, a hello campaign. I call it a hello campaign, which is very simple. It's, what do you tell your recruits to say to a prospect? Are these scripts written out and ready to WhatsApp? Okay, so have a hello campaign. Start a hello campaign in your, so perfect. We're going to be down for 72 hours. 72 hours we're going to be down. Now's the time for people to productively use that 72 hours by sending out a hello campaign. And so I'm going to put out in my team that everybody who can send me screenshots or whatever it is, I'll work out what it's going to be, that in that 72 hours, they have to send out 72 hello, how are you, you know, that kind of messages to 72 people they have not spoken to this point in time. So by the time the whole conversations are going, the system is back up, and they're almost ready to be closing the people in the closing phase of that. So utilize this as a 72-hour breakout, or a 72-hour prospecting, as opposed to, because you see what's going to happen is, we need to, as leaders, say to ourselves, hold on a second, the moment that system goes down for 72 hours, there's that old saying, out of sight, out of mind. All right. So what happens is, and people's natural tendency is, in actual fact, to go negative. Oh, there we go again. Can't they get it right and they don't see the positive of the 72 hours. So let's take their focus away from the back office, and let's put their focus into recruiting. But let's start a thing. So day one, this is what you guys are going to do. Day two, this is what you guys are going to do. Day three, this is what you guys are going to do. How many? Let's have a competition or something in your team. And if you are consultant, let's say senior consultant and above, you know, within your group only, like for example, in my group. So now I'm not doing this in my big leg. I'm only doing it in my other leg. So my runaway leg is not going to have the benefit. They will have the benefit of, I need to do something. I need to reward my big leg. But I want to do something for the other legs that are not performing, and keep them going and keep them in the game, that kind of thing. So it will be all about what are we going to do over these next 72 hours. So that's what my focus is tomorrow. And by the end of tomorrow, I'll be advertising a 72-hour promotion, but for my team. And it could be, I will advertise that they'll go into a lucky draw. If they say they've got 50 prospects that they've got conversations going, they'll go into the draw 5 times. If they've got 30 products, they'll go into the draw 3 times. If that kind of thing. And then I'll do a pass for them at the end of that. So think creatively about how you can actually drive some momentum within your business. Okay. Will you share? Woo, Peter, you're asking some nice stuff there. Okay, because you're my favorites, I will share with you. Okay, because you're on this call. So the 18 of you that are on this call, I'll share you my secret. So please, what I'd like you to do is let's see, I need to get everybody on this. Okay, let me see what I can come up with. Okay, I'll share the 72-hour. Let me write this down because I will forget. Okay, so it's the leadership team. All right. Because remember, this is just, you guys are just my wealth. I haven't even got my own leaders on this. Okay, so I will share with you. All right. Maybe I'll let me think about it if I can't just do it for the whole. No, I can't do it for that. I'll think of something. But yes, and then just share with you what kind of promotion that I will do for the guys. But the whole goal is to get everybody focused on the activity while the 72 hours are down, because they can still watch videos, that kind of thing. Okay, awesome. So it's tell and then show us, do you have the ideal invitation video? So I do. I have we all do, actually. It's a pleasure, guys. We all do. And that is the 2-minute video. All right, just an overview of what it's about. And then if somebody asks me, but I don't understand what this data is, then you've got the data collection video you can actually send through, which reminds me I need to keep an eye on the time. And then, of course, there's some of the, okay, guys, so we learn as we go. So tonight I'm going to be doing the business presentation this evening a little bit different. So the outline is very much the same, but I'm going to be saying a whole lot of different, focusing on different things this evening. So it'll be a different business presentation. You choose which one is best for your prospect, and share it from there. Okay, but again, don't send them 7 videos all at the same time. It's a process. What did you like best about what you saw? Fantastic. Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, fantastic. I'm going to send you another video. Please, let's go through this video process together. Okay, great. Do you then do you go with your recruit when they attempt to offer their first invitation, or are you on a phone call with them, or are you sitting with them? Guys, the best thing that you could do, and I haven't done it in my team for this whole element, and the reason being is because we're just running too fast. But when you find that your team is stagnating, or a team is stagnating, what I suggest you do is get a phone session going. Okay, so invite them all together, bring and share, put people into groups, into teams, and get going with phone calls. And again, 72 hours, if you've got, nothing to do over the 72 hours, get your people together. Well, we have the core workshop this weekend. But yeah, whenever you look at a team that's not going well, it's dead ducks, get as many of them together in one room and do a phone session. Okay, teach them how to make those phone calls. All right. And the reason why we don't do that is because we're so scared that someone's going to say no to us when we phone. Okay. And the objective is not to get yeses. The objective is to get no's. And how do I get my no to a yes? That's the secret. Okay. All right. And then do again would be, how does your recruit share their results with you and the rest of your team? Okay. So for example, within what's wonderful, I love about Element System is we have these beautiful photographs of these lovely templates that we can put people's faces into and show the results and the recruitments and that kind of thing. Guys, I celebrate founder more than I celebrate consultants, senior consultants, and all the rest of it. I celebrate in my monthly meeting that I have. I celebrate and rah the founders. I get the founders to talk, and then I would say, okay, we've got 2 or 3 managers in the room. Managers stand up. They'll stand up. I've got 2 consultants stand up. Come and share with us what you like best. Okay, and then I start from the manager level all the way down to founder, and then I get the founders all up front, and I celebrate the founders. Guys, founders are the foundation of your business. So celebrate the founder more than you celebrate the manager and the senior manager. If you want to build a good business, a strong business, you need to celebrate the guy at the bottom, because you've got more of them. And remember, that's what it's all about. It's about the guys that are founders. So really spend some time celebrating your founders. It is really worth your while. And then, of course, do you have weekly meetings? Just get in touch with your team on a weekly basis. Mine is my back to basics that I have every week as well. All right, so I have my back to basics on a Tuesday evening, and as many of my people hop onto that, and I just update them, keep in their faces, challenge them with something for the week, that kind of thing. Okay, please don't bully people. Remember, everybody's a volunteer in this business. We have no right to say you will do this, you must do this. It's, hey, I would like to suggest, this is my suggestion. What I'd like to suggest is over the next 72 hours that you could do this. And hey, guys, guess what? I'm going to run a promotion. I know some of you are going to build some relationships over this weekend and go and have a cup of coffee. And then some of you, I want you to no longer focus on the nitty gritty, but here, for those of you who wanted to know exactly what to say to your prospects, please, I'll send you some WhatsApps. For those of you who want to wing it, go and wing it. But you know what? The challenge is out there. So you see, you've got to talk to all the different personalities as well. Okay, when you're chatting. Nice one, Fernando. Yeah, we've got to. It's all about the founders, hey. It's all, and you know what? We're so busy. You know what? If we can get our founders doing the right activity, when they become consultant, they will be teaching their founders the right activity. And so we now need to collect and get those founders doing the right things. Okay, so awesome, brilliant. Celebrate them. They're the ones that did the hardest work. We all know it was the hardest to get the first 3. Okay, and then our job was to help them get their first 3 and that kind of thing, or then 5 or whatever it might be. But the hardest was to go founder. Okay, so let's make sure that we do that as well. All right. So yes, you have weekly meetings. Well, I don't use Facebook page for my team. We all use Telegram now. So we've progressed from Facebook to Telegram, which is awesome. Super. Any questions on taking a person through inviting tools? You're all good? Great. Because of course, the next thing would be our presenting tools. Can you give us a specific videos that you sent in a specific order? Absolutely. So June, I send the first inviting video. If I had to ask you, June, I don't know if this is for you, but would you be open to, if I could show you a way to earn 3,000 to 10,000 Rand a month, would you be open to having a listen to a 2-minute video? And you would say, yeah, sure. I'd say, when would you be able to watch a 2-minute video? And you'd say to me, well, I can do it now. I'd say, are you sure you can do it right now? Because I'd love to chat to you after the video. And you'd say, yes, I can. Then I'd say, super. I'm going to send you the 2-minute video. It's just an overview of our company. And I'd send the 2-minute element video because it's very professional. It's nicely done. And it's very pleasing to the eye. Okay. Be very aware. The only thing they're going to see in that video is the 1,500 Rand, the $99 a month. Just know that that's their objection. So when you pick up the phone, I would pick up the phone and say, hey, June, have you watched the 2-minute video? Yes, fantastic. Before you can tell me that this is not for you, I'd say, oh, fantastic, June, awesome. Tell me, what did you like best about what you saw on the video? And you're going to say to me, it's probably not for me. I'd say, no, well, there must have been something that caught your eye. What did you like best about what you saw in the video? Okay, and then you would tell me, I thought, yeah, the dream holiday at the end or whatever it might be. And I'd say, fantastic. June, you know what? I can't promise you anything, but what I do know is that I have been able to help a few people make that 3,000 Rand a month. Could I ask you, this might not be for you and probably is not for you. So I'm going to tell you up front that you're going to tell me no. Okay, it's probably not for you, but that's okay. But if you could continue this research process with me, I would appreciate it, because you might just know somebody that this is for. Okay, and I'm just looking for go-getters, entrepreneurs that just want to make an extra 3,000 to 10,000 rand a month. Now, basically, I've just told her she's not an entrepreneur, and you're not going to be happy with me for that. Okay. So I'd say, if I could send you a little bit more detailed video, or grab a cup of coffee with you and go through this one-on-one, what would you prefer? Okay. Some people say, no, okay, fine, let's have a one-on-one coffee, or someone say, yes, I'll watch another video. Then there's another video, which is the compensation plan. Okay. And then I say to them, I'm going to send you the company's compensation plan, but I want you to stop it when you get to manager level. Okay, because the rest of it's going to be too much for you. Or I would even say maybe senior manager, or not senior manager, senior consultants, executive consultant. Maybe they start talking about that. I want you to stop, because that's about 50 to 80,000 rand a month, and I don't want you to go into that mind frame. But hey, feel free to watch the whole video if you want to. Okay, most people will stop it at that point, because that's where you've asked them to. You pick up the phone again and say, what did you like best about what you saw? Okay. If they answer you something negative, say, oh, I'm so sorry, but what did you like best about what you saw? There must have been something that you thought, gee, that's interesting. What was that? You see, you only want them to talk to you about what was positive. Okay, but you guide the answers in the question, so you guide them through that. Okay, then I say to them, right, listen, you're probably very keen to get yourself going. Could I make a suggestion that we grab a cup of coffee, or you come to a presentation? I'd love you to meet some people. Do you know, because when you do make the decision to register, I want to make sure that you know what you're getting into. Okay, come and ask some more questions, come and meet some amazing people. If they say, no, listen, I'm ready to get started, I've got my 3 people, then don't hesitate, sign them up. Okay. But sign them up. If they're saying, well, yeah, where do I deposit the money? Like, sign them up yesterday already and fast. So don't draw that process out too long. But most people need you to guide them through a process, and as they go through the process. So it is about exposure to exposure. Okay. And sometimes we go through those exposures. We must have a sense of urgency, but we must be very patient in the same time. Okay. So we're going to have a sense of urgency and patience as well. So if you're on the mastermind, we're going to take you through step by step each of the entities and how to talk to people. And if you've got that GoPro book, you'll see there's some amazing scripts that are inside there that work for a lot of people. I hope that answers your question. Cool. Okay. Right. Presentation tools. Okay. So, and the telling stage is, how do you turn your new recruits into professional presenters? Okay. Do you have suggested trainings? Do you have a booklet? That kind of thing. What are they going to go through? Most of us don't have to worry about that, because we've got the online presentation. We've got the workshops where we are. My guys that do home meetings, they are not allowed to present. Okay. Because the message might be misconstrued. So mine use my online presentation. And if they've pre-arranged with me, then what I do is I zoom into that presentation at the end, and I do the Q&A for them, and I close for them. Okay, so I don't have to be at the presentations. I can literally have a group that will finish at 7:30 tonight, have one that finishes at 7:45, one at 8 o'clock, and I can jump onto 3 Zooms. I can be in 3 home meetings at the same time on the same night. Okay, so encourage your guys to do home meetings, play the video, and then don't answer questions. Say, hey, I'm so fortunate I've got Michelle in the room, or Andre in the room, Sharon in the room. We're just going to Zoom her in, and then I'll say, hey, hi there, everybody. I'd love to know what you all like best, but I'm pretty sure you got a lot of questions. And I know every single one of you are asking, why must I pay the 1,500 rand a month? Who would like to start with that question? Get it out the room, get it out the way. And then say, oh, fantastic. And then you can answer and say, well, okay, so who would like to ask a question? What is it? And the person in the room will then facilitate the questions. And then you tell your story. Try not to. So, for example, I would tell a story for somebody for 1,500 rand. I would tell a story of one of my downline. He fought with me. He thought it was unethical. He didn't want to pay the second 1,500 because he hadn't recruited 3 people in his first 8 days. But you know what? What actually has happened is that he saw the value of what we're actually trying to do and how we can impact South Africa and how we can actually bring funding into South Africa. And he bought it to the fact that we could play a bigger role than just our 1,500 Rand. Do you know, he's now manager level. So at what cost was that 1,500 Rand? He's now earning manager's salary, manager's income, which is 80,000 Rand. But if he hadn't paid the second 1,500, he wouldn't be earning anything. He wouldn't even be earning 1,500 from his slips. So I've got to ask you the question, you know, you need to make a business decision for yourself here this evening and an entrepreneurial decision. So that's how I would tell them that's my story behind the 1,500. Okay, so you've got to tell it back to them in story fashion. Great, awesome, great questions, guys. Thank you for participating. I really, really, really appreciate it. Then, of course, how do you show your new recruit the ideal presentation? What does it look like? I've just given you some examples of show, try. How does a new recruit practice the presentation? Okay, in front of 10 new prospects. Guys, please don't set people up for failure. Just let them watch a video. All right, videos, we're all there. We're all happy to watch videos. We have no problem with it. Facebook Lives is very nice as well to use the presentation. Once you've you know, you've got to know the person a little bit more and they're happy to do presentations, then you can give them the right presentation, but they need to be saying the right things at the right place, and that's what's important. And then how do you know when one of your recruits is excelling or struggling with presenting? Do they report statistics? Okay, just you be in control of it. All I'm saying is you be in control of how the presentation is being presented in your team. It's very important, because otherwise the wrong message is going out. And guys, if somebody is recruiting like wildfire, you want it in your team and that team is running mad, you want to know what they're showing the people. You want to know what are the, get in there and find out what presentation are they showing, that kind of thing. It's your job to go and find those statistics. If nothing's happening, find out what presentations are they not showing, and where they're stuck and how you can help them. Okay, so that's with presentations. And then, of course, follow-up tools. Okay, how do your recruits, how do you tell your recruits to follow up? Email, phone, or Facebook. Stay away from email completely. Following up with WhatsApp is also a bit sketchy. The only way to follow up with the prospect is, in actual fact, to pick up the phone. Please, guys, you're at conversation time. Okay, you're at conversation time, and so please teach everybody to follow up with their prospects. Okay, hey, hi there, Andre, what did you like best about what you saw? Hey, Sharon, what did you like best about what you saw? Okay, hey, Renelle, what did you like best about what you saw? That's it, start with that, that's it. And then they say, and then ask them, so do you have any questions? And they're going to say, yes, I do. Fantastic. So what's your question? Do not answer the question. So Andre will tell me a question and say, fantastic. If that question was answered, would you have another question? And you'd say, well, not really. Super. I'd love to have that question answered for you. But you know what? If I answer that question for you, it looks like I'm selling you and trying to convince you. So please, could you come and meet a couple of people and let's get them to answer the question for you. Bring them to a presentation. Guys, you got to learn this stuff. Like, listen, please understand, I've been doing this since 10 years now. Okay, so I forget that it rattles off me all the time. But then again, it's because I make so many phone calls in a day. All right. Okay, so how do you train them to your new recruits to follow up? Do you have them stay away from emails? Again, I need to change my presentation. Can you recruit sending an email before they send it? You know, some people do send emails, and it's just if you are going to send an email, it must be something along the lines of, hey, I've got something really exciting coming up. I've got a Facebook Live that's going to happen in the next, Friday at 5 o'clock. I just can't wait for you to hop onto that. Please understand that people don't do emails anymore, so I would do a WhatsApp or a what you call it, Messenger, Facebook Messenger. That's where people are, or Telegram. Okay, people are just new into Telegram, so probably WhatsApp. People don't also read their actual physical messages, so just go with WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger. All right, and then who's your best at following up? Whoever's following up correctly, get them to teach at the training sessions. Get them on your Zooms. Get them to teach people about how they're following up, what's their success, that kind of thing. Okay. So can you see each one is, break it in your head. How am I taking this into my team? How am I taking this into my team? And then, of course, there's inspirational tools. What are they? How do you keep your people inspired? Okay, we've now just started with the mastermind that should inspire people for 6 weeks. But after 6 weeks, what are we going to do? How are we going to keep them in the routine? So, which means that you've got to learn the art of getting people into events. Okay, it's the only way you're going to inspire people is by getting them into events and hearing other people's stories as well. And making sure that you can help them, just send something, also get them stuck into onto, I've just forgotten it now, Eric Worre, his Facebook page. That's how you can inspire them, get them to do something daily with that, because it's just 5 minutes that he does really amazing inspirational videos that he does that. If people don't connect, most people connect with Eric Worre. One of my absolute favorites is Ray Higdon. I love him and his wife. It's a couple paired together. They're amazing. I thoroughly enjoy them. I love their craziness that they do. They made me laugh today, which I needed desperately. And then, of course, you've got Massa and Michel. They're also very straight, very, very rigid in their way. And then the other one is Todd Falcone. Those are, and then, of course, Grant Cardone, really good. I would right now, all of us, because that's where most of our training's going to start coming from with Ryan. So find his Facebook page, go and befriend his Facebook page now. Get used to the guy, get used to what he says. And his 10x course is brilliant. So guys, how do you 10x your income? Those kind of things. There's really nuggets there, and he's a really good. And he's also spoken on Eric Worre's stage. All of these guys have actually spoken on Eric Worre's stage. So yeah, I would really recommend that that's how you're going to inspire people, is just make sure they tapped into the right things. All right. Any questions before we go? Are you happy? What I'd like you guys to do is on the Telegram group, which is the Leadership Core, if you can just type one thing that you got out of this evening's session, one thing that benefited you on that session. Just say, hey, I've just got off the leadership call with Dr. Michelle, and this was my nugget for tonight. If you could hop onto that group and just type it in, so we can inspire the other people, so we can really implement this last section, which is inspiring the other team with something new that you've just learned. Because if your downline and your other leaders see that you learn, then they will be inspired to learn as well. Any last minute questions? You're all good. Andre, thank you for staying alive with me there, so I could see your face the whole time. I really appreciate it. Okay, guys, I'm going to, yes, Peter, how are you? Good. Gosh, 10 minutes and you can go to bed, Pete. Fernando, thank you very much. Awesome. If you don't mind, guys, I am going to switch off now and not talk for 10 minutes so that I can be revitalized for the 8 o'clock video. So thank you very much. Please, please, please go on to, may I please have your number? Yes, you can. You'll find it actually on the Telegram group. So please, let's go on to the Leadership Telegram group and please put one thing. Hey, just got off the leadership call, and this is what I learned this evening. So thank you, guys. Take care. God bless. Always love being with you guys. Take care. Bye.